share some collected stories. I am an incarnate word, sister, and we are talking about the incarnation of the word. I'm going to start thanking Paulus Press because I was a young religion, art, drama teacher, and I found a book, Learning Through Dance. And I was, look at those Psalms, look at that feeling. Who is that person? I want to be near her. And our prophetic pastoral institute said, oh, we want the best in liturgy. Martha, why don't you get someone good to enrich our liturgy? In the summer of 1973, Carla came and taught a workshop at Incarnate Word College, San Antonio, Texas. Well, being a little bit devious, I just wanted to be in New York studying with her. So I found out, I worked hard, and I got a full scholarship to get a master's at Fordham. So you can imagine if you were my religious superior and I said, Mother, I can get a master's degree. May I go to New York City? They thought it was great for me to get a master's degree. And in St. John the Divine, I felt like the heavens were opening up as I saw images of the Spirit. And I had an opportunity to go once a week to workshops with Carla. Okay, that was 74. Then there've been the Sacred Dance Guild gatherings. How many of you are familiar with the Sacred Dance Guild? Okay, yes, it has nurtured, helped, encouraged a lot of us. And every now and then, they would be putting together books on liturgy. And Carla would get invited to write a chapter, and I would get invited to write a chapter. Well, in 2013, we were together at an academic conference, the North American Academy of Liturgy, and Carla said, Arthur has died, and I've given my papers, step. There you go. Beautiful. I have given my papers and my programs to the GTU archives, but no one pays attention if there's not a story. Martha, would you do my story? And I said, well, if the university will give me grant money, I will come film you. In the summer of 2013, I filmed over 25 segments of Carla talking. And we heard some wonderful segments of her talking yesterday. And then over time, with the pictures in Carla's home, okay, this is at the Juilliard. Do you recognize the David and Carla right there? But if you brought your chairs right here, you can really see Jose Limon much better. But you know, if you don't want to, not my problem. I keep going with the pictures.
Yeah.
So it was truly wonderful for her to talk about teaching at Interlochen during the summer and teaching little children. And eventually, her sister Rhonda felt attracted to Catholicism, and Carla and her mother wanted to learn more. Eventually, she became a Catholic, and at the same time was working as a dancer, was studying more dance, And I absolutely love seeing Valerie teaching and some of those movements, and then Carla's dances. Wow. Okay, she's saying that this is Nantucket. So you heard yesterday about dancing in the streets, and here is the very, very influential godmother, Beatrice, and her husband,
James Somerville.
just keep going through the picture.
James Somerville.
Wonderful. Right. What's this?
Well, this is the dance by Charles Wyden. And somehow it was part of a little company before, or maybe just a little dance theater company or something. We did pieces. And our thought was to have one company that took the different choreographers instead of it only being, let's say, the Ramon company, or only being something, whatever, that we would do things from different people. We went to Charles Weidman's studio, he was still alive, and he taught us flickers, which is of the early movies. Flickers that.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to interrupt for 1 second because I realized we have some folks here that haven't been part of the whole experience so far. So that's on me that I didn't think of that. Can I come in front of the camera for you there? This is Church of the Village. I'm a member here and we have dance here every week. Some of our dance team members from Church of the Village are here. We have Megan House over there and Elizabeth Levy, who both are part of our team. Maura's a member here as well. Emily wasn't, she left for New Jersey. When you see the dance here every week, every week. Yes. Wow. And it's all improvisation, some structured improv. It's usually for the offertory, but this is a very welcoming community. And I know that Megan and Elizabeth and Ariel, for example, haven't been part of our gatherings earlier in the week, but this is Sister Martha Ann Kirk, and she is writing a biography of Carla. And so all of this book stuff up here is about this biography. And we also have other things, other books and things up here, which I'm sure you guys will tell us about in a moment. Yeah, I'll tell about that. Yeah, but I just realized we were missing that context, so my apologies.
You should have handed it to me once. Wonderful, thank you. Dorita is not here tonight, but she started dancing with Carla in '72. And David, when did you start dancing with Carla?
In 1984.
In 1980. So we've got a lot of rich history here tonight, and it is truly wonderful. Can you go back? I was telling you to go faster. You go back one picture, because I really want to emphasize the importance of Janet Collins in Carla's life. She was a very, very prayerful person, and Carla, from interviewing you and looking at papers, it seemed like you really wanted to connect dance and the sacred, but it was kind of scary. And Janet Collins, a wonderful dancer at the Metropolitan, was encouraging Carla. And I think all of us need encouragement, and part of these days together are encouraging each other.
So I just say one thing. She met my godmother Beatrice at a Regina Loudis.
Can you hear Carla all right? So maybe it's best to kind of face that. Okay, great.
Okay, right. And as I was saying last night for those at St. Paul's, she came to me with me to my confirmation at St. Paul's. They got along very well, and then she didn't live that far from us. She shared a house, I think, with what's his name? I'm looking at you because anyway.
Tall guy?
Yeah,
Oh, Jeffrey Holder?
Jeffrey Holt. Wait,
It
was Jeffrey.
if she might have shared a house, but they were not partners, that would have been Carmen.
Carmen played the level of it.
Jeffrey Wernider. Yeah,
They
they
live
were
in the same
married.
house down in college.
Okay.
It was an important time in the history of Christianity in that the Catholic Church was having Vatican II and saying, how do we relate to current realities? But this wasn't uniquely Roman Catholic. I would say that in all of the major Christian denominations, the 1960s, the civil rights movement, that was a time of, are we relevant or how do we become more relevant? Ariel Ramirez in Argentina wrote a wonderful mass, and Carla is dancing to the Gloria of that mass. And I want to mention that she danced it in Central Park at a Vietnam demonstration because she felt like you needed to proclaim life while so many people are being killed.
I didn't,
Yeah.
someone had asked me to do that.
Yeah,
And it was
Yes.
exciting. A little stool in the middle of thousands of people protesting, jumped up into Gloria.
and I'm going to make a connection that the last days of 1999, Carla and I and Daniel Berrigan, the Jesuit that wrote such powerful poetry and writing for peace and justice, we were at the Nevada nuclear test site and we were having a retreat for peace, and Lucille Knopf and Carla and I were dancing in a Eucharist with Bishop Gumbleton. So from the Vietnam protest in the 60s to 1999, the last minutes, let's usher in a new millennium of more justice and peace.
And Sabina was there too.
Okay, yes, Sabina, who's not with us right now, but she was a part of that. Okay, and so we continue.
Well, that's
This is the crypt that author made the wooden floor. And wow. So we are commemorating that these dance that were coming together in 72, and by 74, we think of the establishment of Omega. And let's keep going. These are the trees, a group playing instruments of many cultures and doing vespers. And this is the outside of Child of the Divine, and the wonderful, wonderful wedding of author and Carla. And there was dance at the wedding. This will be my dancing day. And this is on the beach at Nantucket. And so many of these photographs were done by Beverly, is it Hall? Yeah, Beverly Hall. And she couldn't be with us, but I hope that she will get lots of stories of our day together. All right, the title Omega really is connected with the thinking of the Jesuit, Pierre Teilhard Chardin. And whereas much of Catholic philosophy and theology was static, he kept emphasizing we are evolving towards Christ Omega. We are in movement. And he was terribly optimistic. And many people say that the Second Vatican Council was really, I don't know how I want to put it. It was the thinking of Teilhard de Chardin that pushed the ideas of the Second Vatican Council. And so how truly wonderful that Carla is part of this spinning towards Christ Omega.
And I'm sorry the reader isn't here because she was with me in that first Omega meetings that were sponsored by Father McGuire at St. Ignatius, where we're going to go. But maybe she'll talk more about it then at St. Ignatius.
And yesterday we talked quite a bit about the Passion according to Mary. So I'm not going to say too much, but I, as a student, went to the International Eucharistic Congress in Philadelphia, and the theme was the hungers of the human family. So Mother Teresa of Calcutta and Dorothy Day and Carla de Sola danced this. So I just feel like she was nurturing the hungers of the human family. Dance is Eucharistic. And David, I love this picture of you dancing this.
That's Christine herself.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. And this was in a retreat with Miriam Therese Winters, so significant as a modern musician, and Carla would often work with her giving retreats. And then she taught at Princeton for many years. And David, whenever you see like book layout by David, don't be deceived. David is a major player in this book. He finds pictures that I have never seen before. He knows how to identify dancers. He knows this is important, and where on earth did you get that? So David, thank you for being a major player in this book.
I guess.
And this is teaching at the GTU. And is this the Martha Mary Hatha dance or what?
Martha Mary is just a duet or a solo.
Those might be the students.
Oops.
But anyway, there's a section teaching a significant part of Carla's life. And this is teaching in Honolulu. The Marianist brothers have some good schools there. And so Carla is not just continental, she also goes to other places.
And Frank, Diary of Anne Frank.
Carla's family background is Jewish. And she says in the interview, you know, I think I look a little bit like Anne Frank, and I think so. And I am grateful. I want you to pick up things over there. Pick up this little handout. And why don't you say what's on this handout?
Sure.
Right.
I think in 2015, when Martha Ann was in Berkeley working on this project, she sat down with me and said, could we put together a little website? So we started a website that just it's, I imagine something like an online studio, a place where we can post both Carla's past work, upload some of her notes from courses so that other people can be inspired in the work they're doing. There's quite a lot of her repertoire on YouTube. And then last fall, she and I started Zooming every week, and we would watch one of the YouTube videos together and pause, and she would reminisce about the origin of the piece and different people who did it. And so anyway, those are those. And I linked last night to the 2 YouTube sites from the website. So hopefully if you could just get one place, you can find what you're looking for.
And this is the
And I'd like to add to what Sylvia is saying. In the book, which will probably be in print and online, an online ebook, I guess is what you would say. There are yellow boxes. Those yellow boxes you see are about the dances, and they have links to the dance. So you can just go right to the dance and see it as you read about it.
I think there's something like 30 postings on the Carla de Sola YouTube channel that I started. And for example, you can hear her talk, or you can see her talking about Anne Frank, and then you see her doing the dance. And it's really quite wonderful. Lead people to the YouTube channel and lead people to what Sylvia has been doing with Carla, talking about the dances. Now, here is the really, really important Misa Gaya. How many of you have danced some of the Misa? Oh, I love it. I love it. So you can just hear the wolf call and just feel the joy of creation.
Martha doesn't really well.
Yay.
I love it. And I want to say that Carla's husband, Arthur, was so prophetic and important in his interfaith spirituality. And Carla, and the Misa Gaia is more important than ever. With climate change, it is absolutely critical that we are passionately in love with the earth and working on saving the earth. And so I will go on and on.
No, but
No.
tomorrow we're going to combine perichoresis and the earth.
Uh-huh. Yes. Okay. Comment. You found these wonderful pictures. David,
Oh.
comment.
Well, a few months after work starting to do the Earth Mass, in October, we went to Ireland. So we went to Ireland, and then I had to come back to keep doing what I was doing at Ailey, and Carla and the other dancers and Tommaso went on to Avignon. And so this is when we arrived at Coromila, and they had a cross outside. This is looking out over the North Sea. And there's a little town of Ballycastle off to the left down in the thing. And Coromila is up on a plateau, a doohickey.
It means hill of harmony.
Thank you. And I turned in Tommaso and Jim Wallace were walking down. Okay, yes, I'm gonna let you talk. Just want to say the thing. Walking, they were heading away, and so I just said, "Oh, this is an opportunity to take a photo." And I just called, hey, Jim, Tommaso. So Tommaso is going to tell you who Jim Wallace is, in case you don't know.
Jim Wallace, he was an author, and he was the editor of the Sojourner magazine.
Yes.
If you know Sojourner, and if you think of Sojourner, you think of Jim Wallace. I met him originally in Sweden. I was invited to a conference outside of Uppsala in Rapid, where Ingmar Bergman lived. And we went to a World Council meeting on community building. And I was invited as a member of a religious community, and he was part of Sojourner. So we became friends. And at that meeting, I met Craig Cameron, who was the treasurer of Coromila. And he said, "When you come in to visit us?" I said, "Okay, we'll come back sometime." So I went back and visited. And then they said, "We need a chaplain. Our chaplain is on sabbatical for 3 months. Would you like to come and be the chaplain?" This is an interfaith, inter-Christian community that's always been led by a Protestant leader, primarily Lutheran. So I was the first Roman Catholic, first of all, ever lived there, let alone be the chaplain. And so it was a good chance. So I brought some movement, and what I was most known for, which is kind of funny for me, I was known for bringing silence to Protestant worship, because I said, the way you pray, God never has a chance to respond. Well, man, listen, let's put some silence. So people really appreciate it. And then I taught them some very simple, like what we did today at the Keep in Mind.
Mhm.
So that started my connection. I was a member of the Formula for many years. I still am. And they work in Belfast. And Coromila Center is a conference center. And they bring people, especially young people, from both Catholic and non-Catholic families to be together and learn about peacemaking through their own experience of people, not by politics. And so,
Right now, I am working with young people who were in their summer program. So it's not just Protestants and Catholics fighting in Northern Ireland. It's Ethiopians and Palestinians and Syrians, people from all over going to Coromila. So thank you for doing the Beatitudes there. Thank you for building Coromila, and the good goes on. And now Jim Wallace is at Georgetown University Center for Social Justice. Okay, let's go on to France.
So this is just moving through Ireland. This is our first day there. That's Alan, Tung, Marie de la Palme, Carla, Arthur, and Tommaso. And again, I just said, oh, you guys turn around. So, and that is me, Carla, and Alan, just doing a pose there.
And Frank dance was done in Ireland. Okay, we are on to Avignon. And again, Tommaso was so significant in making connections and encouraging liturgical dance. And this was a sacred dance workshop. And they were going the streets from one church to another, doing different parts of the mass. Okay.
That's a significant thing.
Yes, and they also did a concert. Oh, and do you know he made his international
international dance
premiere as a cockroach in a garbage bag? So we thank you for making us think about nuclear destruction being that cockroach in that dance in France. Okay, let's keep going.
Okay, I've gone on.
And then, there's a wonderful poster, or did you show? Yeah, the poster of what was going on with the Sacred Dance Festival in France. And let's rush into Sojourner Truth because that is so significant. And I'm sorry that Adrian is not here tonight, but that dance has been done in many different places with much different, and there, Joanne, who is right back there. Joanne has been a part of that dance.
It's Adrian and Carla going over some of the information about and photos about Sojourner.
There's Joanne.
There's Joanne. And there's, that's Adrian, right? And
Yeah, this is a girlfriend from, not Maria. I'm thinking that it's Janet. No, not Janet. Jacqueline, thank you.
Right.
Jacqueline. See, that's all it takes is another voice.
back one slide. This on the right-hand side is Marie de la Palme, Greg Reynolds down below, and Maria Mitchell, right?
Yeah.
Doing Sojourner.
Jacqueline's last name?
Yeah.
Too hard. Too hard?
We like two sides of two,
Got it.
sort of an idea of
Yeah.
sides of Sojourner.
Don't- Yesterday we saw that exquisite February fling dance with the shining earth ball. And so I want to tell you, things were so tense between Russia and the United States of America. And I think this was really citizen diplomacy at its best. About 100 Russian astronauts were here, and Carla, did you say something like 4,000 people gathered at John the Divine, children, people of all ages, and they had music and dance and candlelight and moved around. And okay, then we try to get this. So one of the astronauts, and we are talking about 1988, he said it was, though he had seen the Earth from outer space, that night was the most important day of his life because it gave him hope that the Soviet Union and the United States could calm down, because there were so many citizen diplomats trying to build peace. And that's the way we need to be right now, you know?
And we have to really give thanks to the Dean Morton, and you met his wife this morning, those sort of things. Because he had this imagination.
And we were at St. Paul's. This is at St. Paul's. And I really appreciated, Tommaso, that we were learning more about the Paulist tradition and valuing the arts and being prophetic. And the Paulists have been significant in publishing Carla's writing and in promoting dance. I love, this is a Magnificat dance. And if you remember Luke 2, God puts down the mighty from their thrones and raises up the lowly, fills the hungry with good things.
Go back one time. Just go back.
Yes, Carla, going. Computers decide.
One, the next one. No, the next one after this.
Okay, so you mean go forward?
That's it. That's on the.
Yes, that's right. And again and again, there have been variations of labyrinth dances. And this is one, and it goes with the section of the book about teaching and the Sacred Dance Guild. And I'm going to say it has been a long day and a long evening. We are about halfway through this. So I think I'm going to say you want to pick up a flyer that you would definitely want to get the book online. Maybe you would want to get a hard copy, but I don't want you to be prisoners here tonight. I'm going to keep talking, but I don't want you to be prisoners. I mean, I'm a teacher. My students walk out at the time the class is supposed to end. Okay, so this is about Taizé chants with movements. And Tommaso and Carla did a wonderful film of movement to Taizé chants. How many of you have done movement to Taizé chants? I just love it. I could use that so much in San Antonio. And this is so much fun. The Sacred Dance Guild declared Carla a living legacy. And long before that, they were doing a roast of her. And she is laughing hysterically as they are doing this roast of her. Okay, the next dance is Women with the Flow of Blood. And you can see this sort of long red cloth making you think about the flow of blood. And this is a dance that raised controversy. I think maybe all of us at different times have done something or another, and the dance has raised controversy. And finally, Carla did it at an international conference in Australia, but there were some people that just thought the woman with the flow of blood, you don't talk about flow of blood in public.
And it was a Jesuit who stood up for me.
Oh, good. Good. Yes, and the dance that you were working on this afternoon, was part of it with this?
No, they're separate dances. I think we did it at another of the 60, another portion of the 60th anniversary for the UN.
Faithful hour.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
This
Yes.
is a separate dance, yeah.
Right.
But this is in Grace Cathedral, the Episcopal Cathedral in San Francisco.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night, Tommaso.
Great.
Okay, Sunday, see you Sunday.
This was done for the 60th anniversary of the United Nations in Grace Cathedral. So both here in New York City, Carla has had dances in connection with United Nations. Okay, next.
I have one copy of that book with me if you want to browse through it. Please, right.
Good. She was invited to Sweden, and I just think this is a striking Swedish architecture, and Carla, while she was there. And Sandra Rivera and our beloved Doug Adams. This was a summer workshop. How many of you had contact with Doug Adams? I would have never
Doug
finished my
Adams.
dissertation
He was,
if he had not mentored me and taken care of me. I am so grateful.
That's Sandra. Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Some of the New York people were asking, who is Doug Adams?
Yeah.
He was a professor at the Pacific School of Religion in Berkeley, and it was by his invitation that Carla made the move to Berkeley when she retired. And many of us who studied there, he was our MA advisor, because religion and the arts, he poured all of his family legacy and wealth as well as passion into supporting the arts.
And I met him at the Sacred Dance Guild conference.
And is the sharing company publishing. And he gave so many of us opportunities because he had this publishing company out there. And sometimes people rush off and they're bashful. So while I'm talking, I just want this to go around the table. This is Carla's latest book, and she brought copies of this book. So pass it around the table. David did layout and exquisite illustrations in that, David. We are grateful that you are not only a dance artist, but a graphic artist.
There are copies of quite a few copies of the book, and it's free. I mean, I'm giving it free.
Yeah.
I've made, we made copies and we need it.
Yes, good. Anyway, this is a Taizé service at St. Mary's Old Cathedral in San Francisco. And again, we're talking about, this is the early 90s and the many types of things Carla was doing. She is leading people across the Nevada desert, well, across the desert toward the Nevada test site. And I mentioned that we were there over the millennium. Carla, I don't know how many times you've been a part of dance prayer there. I have been a part of dance prayer there 4 times, arrested 3 times, and I would do it again.
I've been mostly at Livermore Labs.
Yeah, yes, at Livermore Lab, the nuclear protest on Good Friday.
Janet.
And again, Carla danced and
So it's, Janet and Kevin Fong.
yeah.
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 We did labyrinth dances.
Okay, and this is, okay, we're working on identification. Paula, we don't know her last name. If anyone knows the last name of Paula, then there's Olid Braun.
Yeah, Elol
Okay.
Quitzel Brown,
Yes,
who was, she danced, I think she was a student of Isadora Duncan and ran the Temple of the Wings in Berkeley. And she taught us the Christmas Oratorio of Charles Weidman and the Ave Maria of Isadora Duncan. So that's Elol in the back, and in front of her is JD. So I think Elol taught us one and JD taught us the other one. I think JD taught us the Charles Weidman, and Elol was the Duncan.
So
and
who was in that family
Hmm.
some years ago.
Janet, you're in this. Yes. Charles Weidman's Christmas Oratorio?
Yes.
Yes, Charles Weidman's Christmas Oratorio. And I think the only. Did you tell us?
Yeah,
Not for many, many years. I don't know when.
but it was when we did it at Old St. Mary's Cathedral, the Catholic cathedral, the first Catholic cathedral in San Francisco. Elol told, or JD told us that was the first time that the dance had actually been performed in a church on during a service. So all those years after he had choreographed it, that was the first time it was done as part of a service. But yeah, so those were, yeah, I won't go into those. So you can tell that's an old camera that does not take pictures very well.
You don't have to take one, but I'm gonna pass these around. And I keep wanting to let you know that you are free to go. I do not want to keep people as captives, but these are gonna go around if you'd like to get a copy of them. When Dean Martin heard that Carla was going to move to the West Coast, he wanted to gift her, but I feel like he was also gifting people on sabbatical in Jerusalem. For a month, they were at St. George's Episcopal Cathedral and going on to different places. And I love this. They are out in the Sinai Desert, and Carla is dancing with the Bedouin dance. The desert.
That was a highlight, almost a highlight experience to be dancing with Bedouins in the desert. I mean, in terms of interface and, oh, God. At one point, he went like this, so I would be like a Muslim woman with half my face covered. And he just said, let me put your hand across, my hand across your face. Oh, God.
And this is from a very different period, but she's dancing the story of Miriam. So the last one was like the desert that Miriam crossed, and here she is dancing it. And a main part of my dissertation was drama and dance of Miriam and other biblical women. So I love this period. Okay, continuing.
Let me say one thing about Miriam. I was told by, who was it, someone important in my life, a Quaker woman, Teresina, that it was essential that going down there to have tambourines. It wasn't just, oh, well, let's have a tambourine. They wouldn't know, people wouldn't have traveled without tambourines.
Yes. This was a vineyard, and this was celebrating the harvest of the grapes. And let me see. Crushing the grapes to make wine is a prayer. This celebration was a benefit to raise funds for student scholarships at the Graduate Theological Union. So
This is part of the table setting.
yeah, wonderful.
So we did it out in front of the vineyards. So when they do the grape crush at that time of the year, all of the vintners in that area bring their grapes to be crushed. And they had, it was an interfaith situation where they were blessing the harvest, as well as I think, Joanne, help me with her name, please, I've forgotten. Sonia. Sonia was Native American, and she brought that tradition into this. So it was a really lovely, lovely day.
Yesterday, when we were talking about the Passion according to Mary, there was a reference to the Grunwald crucifixion. And David, I'm so glad that you found the picture to put here. And the hands just indicate excruciating pain, and then that comes across in the dance, the fingers, like that.
Guess who's at that? Who's that? Who's that lady?
This section is on dance as meditation. And I had the privilege when I was on sabbatical in 2015 in Berkeley to continue working on this book. I was in Carla's class, Dance as Meditation, and we were people of different faiths. And Carla plans the whole semester with wisdom and care and depth. And she prepares each class session with wisdom and care and depth. Carla, thank you.
And today was such a pleasure. People did such wonderful dances. My God. Oh, look.
Uh-huh, yes.
In that
I tell you, everybody's in
year
it.
2015, I came here and Omega people were so wonderful for me. And I printed each of you a copy of this. I've got to remember it's back by my bed, but I've got to bring you each a copy of this page. But that was a marvelous night at Mignon's home, and people were talking and telling stories about Omega going on and on. And this is one of the struggle is that, okay. Photos by Mev Huleo, who created the book, The Struggle is One, Voices and Visions of Liberation, were used in this dance at Pacific School of Religion. And Carla, again and again, you have the capacity to use images or objects that bring the dance together in different ways. And over on the right, again, that's the Christmas oratorio. And next, do you know what, David? I think we've got this picture twice.
It is in there twice, yes.
This shows why this is the draft. It's
Yes.
not a finished book.
Exactly.
We're working really hard trying to get it smoothed out.
It's smooth.
And now these are films. Every time you see a yellow box, that means go to YouTube and you can see this dance, this dance, this dance.
That's Adrian in the center there.
Yes.
Oh.
And do you want to say what you said to me about the dance you did today, that this was a version of it?
Oh, well, that's the invocation dance. So this was for Doug Adams Memorial. And along with that dance, we did this as a second line leading from one area on the Pacific School of Religion campus to a chapel where more was happening with speakers and that sort of stuff. And this led in, and we did the bell dance outdoors, leading to start off the procession across, and then the joyful second line leading people into the church.
Well, and that day was really important to me. It was one of my ordination interviews. And and the grumpy committee had been like, do you really think you have sufficient gravitas to be a priest? And I was like, yes. And then I went across the bay to Doug Adams Memorial Service. And I was like, okay, so if you all knew who my mentors were, I'm positively sedate compared to these people.
Thank you for telling us.
Doug Adams, who said, I want you to look at funeral services from New Orleans. And I still have the white handkerchiefs, you know, and just a closer walk with thee. Da, 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 da.
And about this, the other dance, I don't know if were you going to say more about that one?
No, but the name of this chapter is Dancing in the Face of Death. And I think dancing is very important in the face of death.
Mm-hmm. So I was going to say, this is a dance that Carla choreographed in honor of Alan. And including all of the dancers, because it was at the time where just all the dancers were just dying, you know, boom, 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 people with AIDS and various things. And so Carla created this. It's really a gorgeous, gorgeous dance. There are more people than just Kevin and myself in this, but it was carrying a dance bar, you know, so everyone was at the bar and you're leaning away, you're leaning on it, you're pulling, and then it was picking it up and moving it forward, you know, so through all of that grief, and you may have more you want to say about that, Carla, of continuing to move forward through all of this. So
Parents paid for us to come to New York and to celebrate in the Cathedral of St. John the Divine, his memorial. And that's when we used the Tibetan bowls. And Sandra used her castanets as a prayer. He did a dance with another bar there. I was falling from the bar. He was dying. So he would fell from the bar.
The
and
next
carried
picture is Sandra. There's Sandra with castanets. Yeah. And I'm going to talk about Carla at Authors Memorial, but before that, I want to say my first book was on Mexican and Native American dance in Christian worship. I belong to a parish in San Antonio with Montechines. Between the Feast of the Immaculate Conception, December 8th and December 12th, Our Lady of Guadalupe, we have a Montechines festival. So we have from 400 to 700 Montechines dancers that come to our church. And I think we need to encourage each other. There are many different styles of religious dance that are going on in the US. Let's encourage all of them. Carla, sometimes I sort of want to cry when I get into this section because Arthur was so dear. He was so wonderful. And Carla's beauty and courage and strength to present the urn of his ashes and to dance in the resurrection dance. And this is in the church in San Francisco with the resurrected Christ. You would go to the next, no, not that.
Oh, no, not that.
Yeah, with the resurrected Christ and all of the dancing saints all around.
That was St. Gregory.
Yeah, St. Gregory's in San Francisco.
And I think you did the pole dance there.
We did. It was part of this, yeah. I took out some pictures, but they might show up in another area. But there's another one with everybody holding up the bells and so. And so, yeah,
Well, with the bells.
yeah,
Yeah, we gotta get back to that.
yeah, it'll go in there, yeah.
Grace Cathedral. And Sylvia and David, I think I had to pose in front of an
Yeah.
icon on the
Mm.
sidewalk.
Yes. You can find this exquisite dance. I have seen the Lord. And when the new bishop was being consecrated, he wanted Carla to bring dance. And Sylvia is an exquisite Mary Magdalene, and David is an exquisite risen Christ. In
And we're gonna see
We'll
the
watch
video.
that one tomorrow.
Yes.
And that one also was really significant to me because it was before I was ordained. But there's a moment where, right, I'm Mary Magdalene, the apostle to the apostles. And I followed Jesus up into the high pulpit of Grace Cathedral and he lays his hand on me and then says, I am ascending to my Father. Go and tell the disciples. And I'm like, sorry, Bishop, I hate to tell you, that was my actual ordination. Just saying, like, I'm glad you wanted to confirm what Jesus already did.
Ah, that is terrific. Well, it really is a gorgeous, gorgeous dance, really.
I can't see.
I wish we had all of it for you to see because I think you have the actress who is speaking the words of Mary Magdalene before us and then goes into the dance. But it was a beautiful, beautiful day.
Janet, do you want to talk about what it was like doing this dance? Because it looks quite wonderful.
Well, I remember that we didn't use a sculpture.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Stable was well known. Modern.
And his sculpture is in here somewhere.
It was like a.
Yeah. It was it was sort of one arm and one way. Stephen, you'll see the sculpture. The bodies were never perfect. in his work. There was always something to indicate difference, something shorter. I think, I don't remember the thing with his wife. I think was his wife paraplegic? But she was, there was something included with the difference of his wife's body. And he took that and used that in all of his work, just show the brokenness and the wholeness of us, in his work. It's really beautiful.
Got this is Wisdom's Ways, a passion dance for the earth. And it is, okay, how do I want to put this? The Minotaur, the monster, our shadow. Can we befriend our shadow, or are we going to destroy each other and destroy the earth? It's really quite a profound dance.
This is a labyrinth, but a 13,
Yeah. So this entire,
People are taking
Yeah.
things. Anybody
Okay.
want more cookies before we start taking them away?
I want one more black and white.
You got it, baby. Get that back.
Thank
Mike.
you. Got it. Thank you.
More cookies, more cookies.
Anybody?
They're really
Those are
good.
Here we go. So I was going to say, this is Newman Holy Spirit Chapel, which was designed by Stephen DeStabler. The crucifix on the wall, and the ambo and the altar. And Carla, you probably have, oh, of course I catch you with a mouthful of cookie. But Carla could probably say a little.
Mhm. Yes, they were rehearsing for Pentecost. And again, they're like the YouTube links to see Pentecost dance, Holy Thursday dance, Easter, Palm Sunday, Easter dance, pretty wonderful things at Newman in Berkeley. This is doing Lord of the Dance around the altar.
Oh, we're going to
So-
be doing that,
Tomorrow night.
tomorrow.
Yeah. And okay, many versions of the Beatitudes, whether at Corrymeela in that peace building workshop or in other things.
Exactly.
And that's the statue that was the inspiration, the one-armed winged figure. And this is a section inspiration from scripture, poetry, and art.
If anyone wants a Minotaur head, I have it.
Well,
And
are you,
Carla, Carla, thank you for your compassion. Again and again, the dances are inviting empathy. They are on social justice, on peace themes. And I was coming to John the Divine to work in the archives on a snowy day, and there was a homeless person by the side of the cathedral. And I thought, oh, Carla, who worked with Dorothy Day with the homeless, I'm going to photograph just to think.
I want to break in also to say there's staff people here that need to go. So we need to get finished in about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
I just want to give a little note to Betsy here. That Greg Reynolds, one of those Holy Thursdays, and the dean was so impressed with it. He took in homeless people and did a dance during that Holy Thursday night.
Oh my.
Great. Good. Pictures.
Now,
sorry.
Beating swords into plowshares. Let's keep going. Good.
There's the dancing saints.
They're the dancing saints and the dancing Christ, Saint Gregory of Nyssa. And you were on the staff there for many years. Wonderful things happen in that church.
Yes.
And
So
anyway, this is about different influences.
Safari?
I love this. Thank you for coming. Yes, and Claudia, I don't know if you want to comment because you were doing so much in that parish. You did
Well, we can't
wonderful
comment
things.
too much because we're holding up the staff.
Yeah.
And so, um, yeah,
Yes,
so let's,
Carla was called to testify for the beatification of Dorothy Day. And so there are a number of pictures that deal with that. And so,
it's a young.
this is, you are invited a few months from now to go to the website, find out about the book.
Mm.
And thank you to everybody who planned this weekend. Oh, that's the Parliament of World Religions. And Betsy was so much a part of getting us to the Parliament of World Religions. I'm going to use more pictures of that. Thank you. This is it.
Thank you.
Great. Great.